Hi friends, good morning. Today we are going to discuss in civics part unit 2. Previous class we have discussed about forms of government and democracy. This lesson related to that election, political parties and pressure groups. What are the types of elections we have? How many types? There are two types of election, direct and indirect elections. What are political parties? Political parties, national parties, state parties, like that. What are the differences are there that we are going to see in this chapter? Election, political parties and pressure groups. What is an election? An election is a formal decision making process by which a people chooses an individual to hold public office by voting. What is an election? An election is a formal decision making process by which a people chooses an individual to hold public office by voting. So here we are going to see about the electoral systems in India and what are the types of elections in India. To understand the meaning of the political party and to know the functions of state party and national party. To understand the pressure groups in India. First point of view, electoral systems in India. Electoral system. The electoral system in India has been adapted from the system which followed in the United Kingdom, UK, that is from the Britain. India is a socialist, secular, democratic republic and the largest democracy in the world. The modern India, the Constitution of India came into force on 26 January 1950. This is an important event. Please make a note. The modern India, that is present current trend, we started to celebrate the Independence Day. Apart from that, Republic Day. So that is the free Constitution of India which came into force on 26 January 1950. Look at the articles. The Constitution makes the following provision with regard to the electoral system in our country. Point number 1. Article 324 of the Indian Constitution, which provides for an independent election commission in order to ensure free and fair elections in the country. At present, the commission consists of Chief Election Commissioner and 2 election commissioners. Point number 2. The Parliament may make provision with respect to all matters relating to elections to the Parliament. Point number 3. Look at this. Do you know matter is also there. Point number 3. The state legislatures can also make provision with respect to all matters relating to elections to the state legislatures. Kudavole system. It was the system of voting followed during the Chola period in Tamil Nadu. What system they followed? Kudavole system. The people, they used to elect the leaders in a secret leaves. So they are putting inside the pot. Nowadays we have secret ballot system, right? So in the previous time, during the Chola period, they started to follow only the Kudavole system. Election process. At the national level, the head of the government, the Prime Minister, is elected by the members of the Lok Sabha, the lower house of the Parliament in India. As we have already studied in the forms of government, how the Prime Minister is electing President and Vice President. So like that here, at the national level, who is the head of the government here? The Prime Minister. Real head. Okay. Nominal head is President. So we celebrate the National Voters Day on 25th January in India. So apart from this, look at in representative democracy like ours, because we have a leaders. Elections are extremely important. Voting in elections are the best way to make your voice heard. The people have to listen. The leaders have to listen our voice. Introduction of the nota option. What is nota? None of the above. We are not ready to give a vote to any person. We are not interested to elect any leader. That is none of the above. It was introduced in the year 2014. If the people in a democracy are not willing to elect any candidate, now just listen carefully, if the people in a democratic country are not willing to elect any candidate, they can vote for the option called nota, that is none of the above candidates. It's a rule 49O in the conduct of the elections rule 1961 of India, which describes this procedure. Look at this. This is the machine we have started to follow from the year 2014 onwards. Voters verified paper audit trail in the year 2014. This is the thing which forward to enhance credibility and transparency of the election process. This system was introduced in the year 2014 for the general election. Look at nota. It was the first introduced in the general elections held in 2014. India is the 14th country in the world to introduce the nota. Look at the symbol for the nota. Symbol used with nota option on electronic voting machines in India. Now, we are going to see the types of elections in India. How many types we have? 2 types. Elections are classified into 2 types, direct and indirect elections. Direct election, that means what? People directly vote for the candidates in the fray and elect their representatives. The following are the examples of direct elections in which people over the age of 18 years participate in the electoral process by casting their votes. Where? First, in the Lok Sabha elections, in which the members of parliaments are elected. Elections to the state legislative assemblies, in which the members of legislative assemblies are elected. Elections to the local governing bodies, that is such as village panchayat, town panchayat, municipalities, municipal corporation, and these are the people conducted by the State Election Commission. What are the merits and demerits of this direct elections? It's one of the first detailed answer. Direct election merits. As the voters, merits means advantages. As the voters elected their representatives directly, direct elections are considered to be more democratic method of election. It educates the people regarding the government activities and helps in choosing the appropriate candidates. Also, it encourages people to play an active role in politics. It empowers people and makes the rulers accountable for the actions. What are the demerits, disadvantages? Direct elections are very expensive. Point number 2. Illiterate voters sometimes get misguided by false propaganda. Campaigning based on caste, religion, and various other sectarian considerations poses serious challenges. We'll see the more important are the demerits. Since conducting direct election is a massive exercise, ensuring free and fair elections at every polling station, it's a major challenge to the Election Commission. There are instances of some political candidates which influencing the voters through the payments in the form of cash, goods or services. Election campaign sometimes results in violence. As we know already, the tension will create during the campaigning of a voting time, the law and order problems, and affect the day-to-day life of the people. Indirect elections. Voters are elect their representatives, who in turn elect their representatives. This method of election is followed for the election of President of India. Example, President. Indirect election. What are the merits? Indirect elections are less expensive. It is more suited to elections in large countries. What are the demerits? If the number of voters is very small, there exists the possibility of corruption, bribery, horse trading, and other unfair activities. It is less democratic because people do not have a direct opportunity to elect, but they instead do it through their representatives. So, this may not reflect the true will of the people. Next, political parties. Political parties are an essential part of democracy. Parties are the link between the government and the people. What is that? The parties are the link between the government and the people. So here, what is the meaning of the political party? It's one of your brief answer. A political party as an organization which formed by a group of people with a certain ideology and agenda to contest the elections and hold the power in the government. Already we know that what is the parties? A party is the link between the government and the people, right? So a political party has three components. What are the components? A leader, active members, and the followers. So we are the followers, those who are not in the position. Candidates people only we called as the followers. Now how is President of India is elected? The President of India is elected by the members of an electoral college consisting of the elected members of both the houses of the parliament. How many houses we have in the parliament? Two houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Okay. The elected members of the legislative assemblies of all the states and the union territories in India. Note the importance. The members nominated to either house of the parliament or the legislative assemblies of states are not eligible to be included in the electoral college. Types of a party system. There are three types of party system in the world, namely single party system, two party system, that is bi-party, and multi-party system. Single party system, what is that? In which one ruling party exists and no opposition party is permitted. Example, China, Cuba, the former USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics are the examples for the single party system. Two party system, in which only two major parties exist, for example USA and UK. Multi party system, in which there are more than two political parties, for example India, Sri Lanka, France and Italy. Types of political parties. Political parties in India are classified according to their area of influence into two main types. One is a state, another one is national. National and state parties. Look at the bench. Political parties divided into two parts, national and state. National further divided as a ruling and opposition. State is also ruling and opposition parties. Now first thing we are going to discuss about the national parties. National parties, a party which is recognized as a state party in at least 4 states is recognized as a national party. What is national party? A party which is recognized as a state party in at least 4 states is recognized as a national party. Every party in the country has to register with the election commission, while the commission treats all the parties equally. So in 2017 there were 17 recognized national parties, but now we have 8 recognized parties. Okay, registered parties around 2598, unrecognized parties 2538 with 52 state parties. These parties given a unique symbol. Only the official candidate of the party can use that election symbol. Look at the state parties. Other than the 7 national parties, that is now at present current we have 8 national parties. Most of the major parties of the country are classified by the election commission as a state parties. These are commonly referred to as regional parties. State parties are otherwise called as a regional parties. Example in Tamil Nadu, DMK, AIA, DMK, example. Okay. A party is recognized as a state party by the Election Commission of India based on certain percentage of votes which secured or a certain number of seats won the assembly or in the Lok Sabha election. Recognition to the parties. For getting recognition as a national party, a party has to fulfill any one of the following criteria. At least 6% votes in at least 4 states and members to the Lok Sabha. In the election of Lok Sabha, at least 2% members from at least 3 states are elected to the Lok Sabha. Point number 3. Recognition as a state party at least 4 states. So these are the main point to be a party of a particular nation. Functions of political parties. Point number 1. Parties contest elections In most democracies, elections are fought mainly among the candidates put up by political parties. Parties put forward their policies and program before the electorate to consider and choose. Parties play a decisive role in making laws for a country. Formally, laws are debated and passed in the legislature. Parties form and run the governments. Those parties that lose in the elections play the role of the opposition to the party or a group of coalition parties in a power by voicing different views and criticizing the government for its failures or wrong policies. This is the duty of the opposition party. Parties shape public opinion. They raise and highlight the issues of the importance. Parties function as the useful link between people and the government machinery. This is about the functions of the political parties. Now we are going to discuss about the role of opposition parties in a democracy. In a democracy, there may be a two-party system like in the USA or a multi-party system like in India and France. The ruling party may have received the mandate of the majority people and the opposition party represent the remaining people. The leader of the opposition party occupied a prominent place in all the democratic forms of the government. He enjoys the rank of a cabinet minister who the opposition party. Okay. He opposes the wrong policies of the ruling party which affects the general public. As the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, questions the functioning of the government departments and examines the public money which is used for the well-being of the people. Now how you are watching? EIA, DMK and DMK parties. DMK is the opposition one. EIA, DMK is the ruling party. How they were creating a questions to do for the people. Like that they started to do the questioning the ruling party. It's a duty of the opposition party. He plays an important role to select the chairman and members of the Central Vigilance Commission, chairperson and members of the Information Commission. The opposition parties reflect genuine demands and concern of the people to play a constructive role in democracy. So this is the passage of your role of the opposition parties. Now, final point, we are going to discuss about the pressure groups. What is the pressure group? It is originated in the USA. Pressure group is nothing but a group of people who are organized actively for promoting and defending their common interest. It is also called as attempts to bring a change in the public policy by exerting the pressure on the government. The pressure groups are also called interest groups. What is the other name called? The pressure groups are also called as interest groups or vested groups. They are different from the other groups. They are different from the other political parties groups. Look at this pressure groups passage. It's picturized. The political parties in that they neither contest elections nor try to capture any political power. It's the pressure groups. Pressure groups in India. A large number of pressure groups exist in India, but they are not developed to the same extent as in the USA or in the Western countries like Britain, France, Germany, and so on. Pressure groups. It's divided into further 6 borders. The pressure groups in India can be broadly classified into the following categories: business groups, trade unions, agrarian groups, professional association, student association, religious organization, tribal organizations, linguistic groups, ideology-based groups, environmental protection groups. So there are 10 types of categories in the pressure groups of India. What are the functions of the pressure groups in India? Pressure groups are the interest groups that work to secure the certain interest by influencing the public policy. They are non-aligned with any political party and work as an indirect yet very powerful group to the influence that policy decision. This is look at the point, important one for your third detail. The pressure groups which carry out a range of the functions including representation, political participation, education, policy formulation, and policy implementation. Examples for the pressure groups: Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, All India Trade Union Congress, All India Kisan Sabha, Indian Medical Association, All India Students Federation, All India Sikh Students Federation, Young Badaga Association, Tamil Sangam, Tamil Nadu, Vivasayigal Sangam, Narmada Bachao Andolan. Political participation. Pressure groups can be called the informal phase of politics. They exert influence precisely by the mobilizing popular support through activities such as petitions, marches, demonstrations, and other forms of political protest. Such forms of political participation have been particularly attractive to young people. Education. Many pressure groups devote significant resources by carrying out research, maintaining websites, commenting on government policy, and using high profile academics, scientists, and even celebrities to get their views across, with an emphasis to cultivate the expert authority. Policy formulation. Though the pressure groups themselves are not policy makers, yet it does not prevent many of them from participating in the policy making process. Many pressure groups are vital sources of information and render advice to the government, and therefore they are regularly consulted in the process of formulation. So these are the important of examples for the pressurized groups and important detailed answers. One of the detailed answer about the pressure group. So please carry on, revise once again, and then formulate your answers. Thank you.